Let's talk about the introduction object speech. How to prepare, present, record, and post. Make sure you know what is due. Visit the introduction object speech folder and review all of the expectations. Also, read carefully the presentation guidelines that you can find in Blackboard. That will give you step-by-step instructions from scheduling with your group to saving and recording and posting your video. But for the introduction object speech, you have 4 things due: your posted video, your outline, your self-reflection, all due on the day you present, the day the presentation is due. And then you need to return to our site, to the video peer reflection site, and post some peer reflections. But how do you prepare your speech? Watch the sample speeches. There's a whole folder full of introduction object speeches. Also, if you Google, you'll find more examples. Some good, some maybe not so much. Identify 3 characteristics about yourself that you would like to share with the group. For example, do you have hobbies? Do you like to hike or scrapbook or record videos? What's important to you? Your family? Your job? Your hobbies? What are some things that you find are interesting about you? Do you have an interesting collection? Were you born in a different country? Have you traveled into unusual places? Is there something about yourself that you'd like to share? But identify 3 main qualities. And then you can select an object that you can use to reflect those qualities. Don't spend too much time thinking about what object to choose. You'll notice in some of the sample speeches that one gentleman chose a cell phone, primarily the apps on his cell phone, the photo app, the music app, and the family calendar. Those 3 things showed his friends and family were incredibly important to him. Music really helped him inspire and get to know more about himself and the world around him. And then it was the sports app that he used because of his love for sports. You'll see that another student uses a plant, the soil, the plant, the water, to symbolize the 3 things that she wants to share about herself. If you spend too much time thinking about your object, you'll lose time preparing your speech. Review the outline chapter. Just take a look. This is our introduction to outlines, so the grading isn't going to be too strict. But I do want to see your best shot at an outline. What is your introduction? What are the 3 main points? And what is your conclusion? Then you need to decide how you're going to present. Are you going to memorize your speech? Are you going to speak extemporaneously, meaning without any notes at all? Or are you going to present from your outline, the main points of the speech? Let's talk about all 3 ways to present your speech, just so we have a better idea. If you choose to memorize, I caution you. Memorizing may seem to be the best option. What could go wrong, right? Memorizing takes a lot of time. In addition, as you're presenting in front of your audience, if you forget your next thought or your next word and you've memorized your speech, that can create all sorts of anxiety. It can make the situation much worse. If you speak extemporaneously, I can guarantee you'll ramble on too much about one thing and you'll forget something else. Unless you've practiced many, many, many times, which, yes, is something I strongly recommend. But extemporaneous speaking is a skill we develop. It's a muscle that we build. If you're not used to it, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I recommend speaking from your main point outline. Have your notes, have your main points. Practice. Practice out loud. Practice in front of a mirror. Hey, record yourself. You're going to be recorded in this class anyway. Take a look. What do you see? How do you sound? Don't be too picky. Everybody will stumble on a word or will take a longer pause than normal, but get to know your presentation style. Main points, speaking from main points, it allows you to look up at your audience, to look at the screen, and to talk to the people on the other end of it. But it also gives you the security of having the main points in your hand. Now, a little side note, no matter how you decide, if you have your main points or a piece of paper or note cards, try to find a way to stabilize the paper in your hand. For example, if you're using a piece of paper with your outline, make sure that you have it on a solid surface like a clipboard or a notebook. Don't hold it with both hands. Try to free up one hand so that you can gesture, keep your stance open, and highlight main points with your free hand. Don't read your speech. That is the thing that we are working to get away from. Nobody wants to watch somebody standing there reading. This isn't a public reading class, it's a public speaking class. So speak to your audience. So what's the process in developing it? Now that you have your outline, you've decided how you're going to present, practice. Practice, practice, practice. You're going to hear me say that a lot this semester. And again, schedule with your group. You'll notice that there's a due date the Monday before the speech is due, to where one member of your group will post their speech schedule. Then again, review the presentation guidelines. Know what to expect. When you're presenting, when you have met with your group in the video collaborate area, everybody needs to stand for the presentation. Check your audio and video. Make sure everything's working. If by chance something isn't working, stop the speaker. Don't let the speaker continue if you can't hear them. I know we don't want to be rude. We don't want to interrupt. But it's better than them wasting time presenting when they can't be heard or if they can't be seen. Let them know there's an issue. If you stay silent, they may not know that there's a problem with their recording. And don't forget, you must have 3 audience members. A side note here, the 3 audience members really should come from the class. But you have one allowance to this. So out of the 4 speeches that are due, if one of those speeches you cannot secure 4 members of the class, meaning you can't find 3 other people in your group to watch your speech, then you do have an option. Visit the presentation guidelines area to see that option. But again, that option is a one-time deal for the semester. So save it to make sure you use it when it's absolutely necessary. Now, I'm not going to go over how to present, how to record, and how to download and then upload your speech because you've already done that with our first assignment. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. But review the presentation guidelines just in case. I promise you that will help you out.